Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about Call of Duty and Elden Ring, because if you guys didn't hear the news by now, Elden Ring is officially the best-selling game of the last 12 months here in the United States, which is a massive accomplishment because this means that it overtook sales for Call of Duty Vanguard, which is a huge accomplishment. If you didn't know, Call of Duty is generally the best-selling game in the United States year after year. Call of Duty is a super successful franchise when it comes to sales, and of course, well, this is a pretty massive loss for Call of Duty. If you didn't know, Call of Duty Vanguard's sales disappointed the expectations of Activision and its investors. It's been a pretty rough year for Call of Duty. We actually just made a video pretty recently talking about how Call of Duty has basically lost about a third of its player base in a year. The pandemic was huge for COD, right? Because more people were inside due to lockdowns and stuff, more people were playing video games, and of course, being so popular, along with the presence of Warzone coming out around that time, Call of Duty took off. You know, it had 150 million players, but year over year it dropped down to 100 million, and definitely some of that loss in players and everything accounts for the bad, well, lackluster, I should say, sales of Call of Duty Vanguard. And this is huge for Elden Ring because this is the biggest launch ever for From Software. Elden Ring has been looking like it's going to be a Game of the Year contender. It's definitely been a fan favorite over the last year or so. One of the better games we've gotten on release in recent memory. I was definitely very surprised, and I was also very pleasantly surprised, I should say, as someone who wasn't really into the Souls games and everything before, but this is still pretty big. I do like to see it, and we'll talk about why. Elden Ring has overtaken sales of Call of Duty Vanguard in the United States, making it the best-selling game of the last 12 months in the country. Per sales figures collected by the NPD Group for April 22, Elden Ring was the second best-selling game of the month, trailing LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, and remains the best-selling game of 2022 so far. However, its extra sales pushed it over the mark set by COD Vanguard. It's an enormous achievement, with COD games invariably among the US's best-selling games of the year almost every year since 2009's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Elden Ring has also passed Vanguard sales despite the latter having been on sale for 3 months longer. A little confusingly, the game that could topple Elden Ring in 2022 is also called Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. This year's COD is a sequel to the 2019 Modern Warfare reboot and is likely being made in part because its predecessor was one of the best-selling games in the series. So this is so huge for Elden Ring, and I'm actually really happy to see this news as someone who enjoys both Elden Ring and Call of Duty. I haven't enjoyed the last few CODs, so I don't know if that really still counts, but historically I have been a fan of Call of Duty, so I'm gonna go ahead and just say that I enjoy the franchise. So if you didn't know, the only company that really ever competes with Call of Duty for the best-selling game of the year in the United States is pretty much Rockstar Games, and it's like Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption and titles like that that have been able to actually break that figure for them. So it is definitely very impressive to see another studio step up with a game that actually is overtaking Call of Duty in sales. What this also really indicates, and this is a very good thing for Elden Ring, it's that the momentum didn't stop. Now with a game like Elden Ring, you know, you could have expected a pretty decent player fall off and whatnot from people completing the game and never picking it back up, or people getting frustrated and quitting, things like that, right? But there's still so much hype around the game, and there's still so much good word of mouth advertising, good advertising on the part of From Software and everything, so many good reviews of the game and all that, that it's helped keep the hype up for the game. So there's constantly new people getting into the game. That is huge for Elden Ring because, I mean, it didn't have the launch that Call of Duty Vanguard had, but it's made up for it with the fact that it's been able to keep the hype. Now, obviously, the problem with that for Call of Duty is that they have not been able to keep the hype. I mean, Call of Duty, it's a big powerhouse name in the gaming industry, of course, but they were still unable to get people back on their side for Call of Duty Vanguard. Now, I personally have a few reasons why I think that's the case. First of all, skill-based matchmaking in this game completely sucked, right? Like, it got to the point where if you had 1 or 2 good games on Vanguard, you were basically asking to play against, like, people who never get off the fucking game, basically. It's just a waste of time. The game's not fun. I don't really find any enjoyment in grinding the progression in the game. The content itself is so very mediocre. It just doesn't feel finished. It doesn't feel good. You know, I'm not a fan of it, right? And I know a lot of people are the same way, and these are a lot of the leading reasons and causes why Call of Duty Vanguard sales were disappointing in the first place. And it's not that people don't want to play the same old shit. It's that people want to play the same old shit too much. Like, they're trying to do all these things and in COD that just aren't working with the fan base. Like, believe it or not, the Call of Duty fan base isn't dying to have more skill-based matchmaking. People aren't fucking sitting here demanding you crank up SBMM. If anything, it's the opposite. Pretty much everybody in the community speaks out against skill-based matchmaking and doesn't really care for it. Number two, the content itself has just been mediocre. I mean, like, the maps aren't that good. The weapons, like, there's only 3 really good ones, and then if you use the other ones, you're asking to lose. The battle passes aren't worth grinding, right? Like, there's just so much wrong with Vanguard that it's pretty much unsalvageable, and that's why Call of Duty, I think, is looking to move forward to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 as quickly as they can. Like, I feel like they really want to get that out and get the marketing for it going and everything, because it's probably going to be way more commercially successful just because of the name, just because of the fact that it's a Modern Warfare game. It has that namesake and everything. It's an Infinity Ward game, of course. A lot of people really like that studio. There's a lot of good reasons why this game will probably sell better than Vanguard. I mean, if Call of Duty really wants to have a chance going forward, it really does need to outsell Vanguard. If Call of Duty deals with 2 back-to-back sales disappointers, and not only that, one of them being a Modern Warfare 2, this franchise is going to be on fucking thin ice at that point, bro. So that is the only thing really for Elden Ring going forward. Is the sales, of course, need to continue to be strong. They need to continue to keep this momentum up. You know, they need to keep this game hyped up as much as possible to keep new players getting into the game and everything, because, well, Call of Duty is coming back this year. They will be producing a new game and selling it this year, so just like any other year, you have to worry about Call of Duty still releasing this year. You already beat them once, right? Like, you're already in the best of 3 here, you're up 1, but you still have that other game to go. So at this point, I don't want to make any like harsh predictions or anything for Elden Ring. I don't want to say it's going to fall off or that it's going to do really good or anything, because I genuinely just don't know. It really depends on a lot of factors, man, but I think that there's definitely potential for it to keep going at least solidly for another few months. Genuinely, I wouldn't even be surprised if this game's hype continued for even longer than that. I mean, it's a solid-ass game. I mean, it has plenty of content to explore and get into. There's always going to be those hype moments, and it's been very well reviewed by both fans and critics alike. It really, it's perfected the formula in a way for video games. Honestly, I'm rooting for Elden Ring at this point because it also shows, in my opinion at least, that there's still some sort of priority in the video game industry, you know? Even though Call of Duty's been shitting the bed and still selling and just bombing and going crazy with it, you know, there's still games out there, especially games that are primarily single-player games, that can contend, that can really keep people interested to the same degree that a Call of Duty game does. And for the fact that Elden Ring has been able to contend with Call of Duty in sales, and actually not even contend, but surpass the most recent Call of Duty game, that is very impressive, and it's something I hope that they can continue to do. Because it sends a message to the gaming industry, in my opinion, that you can still make video games the right way and be commercially successful. You don't have to fucking do the thing the cheap way that everyone goes, slap a battle pass in it with shitty cosmetic content that nobody wants, maybe one good skin at the level 100 that's hard to get, or the let's sell a camo bundle with a camo and 5 calling cards for $40 or something like that, right? It's just a down-to-earth but also very unique game, and I really appreciate it for what it is. And I also appreciate the ripple effects that it's starting to have in the industry, what it's starting to show all these other developers too. So yeah, this in my opinion is a pretty big L for Call of Duty. I mean, when you're the top selling game every year and you kind of create that upper echelon for yourself, when you finally don't succeed, people are going to notice it even more and they're going to make sure to call it out. And I'm definitely one of those people because I don't like the direction the franchise is heading in. And on top of that, well, they're not doing that hot in sales. They're not impressed themselves, so I don't feel bad for not being impressed. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shop Opti down below. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, talking about Call of Duty being overtaken by Elden Ring and signing out.